Hi everybody, MVP here. Hope you had a good trading week. This weekend in the 12th of March, Friday the 12th of March, last trading day yesterday. Sorry I haven't been posting too much on my thread this week, just been really busy with work, other things and some projects and actually getting some programmers on board for a little bit of work that we're trying to do. Okay, just going to give you a review of the week ending the 12th of March, the 5 days through that period, using my usual things. On the right here I've got a 1 hour US 30, which is the Dow Futures. Through the week there. I'm going to talk to you about my 500 setting. You see up there, 500 setting. This is my FX correlator, the famous FX correlator 501 setting, and these are my bandwidths, something I've been talking about more recently in terms of measuring bandwidths between the currencies for convergence and divergence plays. Last but not least, we're going to talk about my trusty 80-20 system. That means that you have an 80 moving average here and a 20 moving average here, and you trade when you have alignment on the tag team, especially, which are in bold, the US dollar and the yen. This is all on a 1 hour, so we can get the whole week in and just see what went on. Okay, so let's see what happened. Let's focus initially on the 1 hour 500 here and talk about the winners and the losers during the week, and we'll also have some comments about the Dow and how that impacted on those movements. Biggest winner for me this week was the New Zealand dollar. There it is in turquoise there. Interesting, commodities actually took a hammering this week, so you can't explain it around that, that's for sure. Now, whether it was because last week it had a bad week, as you can see there, I'm just expanding it, and it didn't have too good a week last week, perhaps it was just recovering, but or whether it was just the yields, but the New Zealand dollar had a good week, it really did. Other currencies that had a good week were the US dollar and actually the yen. Now, the US dollar, that was mainly explained around the fact that people stopped worrying about interest rate differentials and allegedly moved towards issues and concerns over global growth. Also, you could argue that obviously towards the end of the week with the terrible tragedies around Japan, dollar is a safe haven for currency. Other reasons, that's pretty much it really. I mean, the dollar did have a good week. The yen had an average week, but became very, very strong at the end of the week due to the tragedy, people repatriating their yen, and also, again, because we're starting to get more fears out there on the commodities market and equities taking a bit of a hit, again, the yen is a traditional home for that. So, the yen in the end didn't have a bad week. A lot of rumours around the fact that the yen is going to get a lot stronger as well, so watch out. So they were the big three. And just recapping on the issues in the market, as you can see across here on the right, the 1 hour, Dow had a terrible week, terrible second half. Wednesday was fairly flat, and then bang. Thursday, Friday, although Friday it came back, but Thursday was an astronomical fall. It came off the 12.2s down to the 11.9s. It's about 300 pips there, and that was pretty dire. So another reason why currencies I've just talked about did quite well. Okay, you're now looking at the blue of the euro, the royal blue of the euro, and the red of the GBP, the Great British Pound. They both had bad weeks. US dollar had some sovereign down risks, or sovereign rating down risks, downgrades for Greece and Spain. That wouldn't have helped. Regarding the pound, well, it had a fairly flat week, as you can see, up to the middle of Thursday, and then took a real hit. Perhaps it was just around that horrendous fall on Thursday. Traditionally, the pound and the euro will traditionally follow the equities. They're obviously deemed to be trades which you follow in a direct correlation to equities. And as money went towards some of the markets where it's more of a safe haven, these two guys got clobbered. So that was pretty much why, especially the pound Thursday, Friday, which really took a hammering. Last but not least, let's talk about the brown CAD here, the grey Swissy, and in here somewhere, as you can see in the middle of the pot there, that's the orange Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar for me had a pretty flat week. People said that it was going badly, but not for me. It was pretty flat, and it actually had a good day on Friday. It came back strongly. Now, whether that was the fact that there was a little bit of kick on equities, and there was a kick on potentially some commodities there, it did okay for me. So flat to rising for the Aussie dollar, and it certainly picked up and went with its brother on Friday there. So quite a good move. People were saying that commodity prices came under pressure, so the CAD was generally flat to rising during the week, took a bit of hit on Friday as people went into safe havens, so that was true. The Swissy this week, the grey Swissy, fairly flat week, up and down a little bit. The fleeing towards safe currencies towards the end of the week was a little bit of a surprise. Obviously, that didn't catch some of the love there, and it went mainly towards yen's direction. But that's still to say that overall there was a flat week for the Swissy, and you could have traded in between quite a nice, comfortable band there. I suppose the important thing was on Thursday when there was a significant fall in the Dow, it did take some love. As you can see, it went up alongside the yen and the US dollar. So that was a significant day, and then it came off again today, which was Friday. Okay, now just to finish off, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the 80-20 over here and just show you where the trades were in the week, following some very simple rules. Okay, I hope you know my rules by now. What I do is I follow two particular currencies. I follow the green dollar and the yellow yen. I follow them on two charts, a 20 MA and an 80 MA. What I tend to do is when these guys are moving in the same direction above or below the zero, what I do is I trade whatever is looking significantly moving in the opposite direction, combination or even just a single currency against them, and just see where the money is made, and I look for trades like that. What I also do is try and look for a little bit of correlation here across on the right with the Dow as well. There's the Dow there. It's in line format here. And again, just see, if I see that the Dow is falling with the tag team rising, I like that as a correlation. I'll be happy to trade. If I see the Dow rising, okay, so people are buying into equities, and I see this tag team falling below the zero, again, I like that. That's good correlation. That gives me more comfort when I go into my trades. Okay, let's go through it day by day. On Monday, we came in, and you see here that significantly, especially through the London session and into the early hours of the US session, you can see up here that the Dow was significantly above. This is the 20, and this bold one is the 80. So it was above, and we were looking for sales. On the 80 moving average, yes, they were both below the zero. Unfortunately, they weren't here. We did have a little session here, as you can see, and then you would have looked to buy whatever was above here. Which would have been the pound, although the pound was already in, possibly some euro there. The Aussie dollar was pushing, but it wasn't above here, so there's some very early trading there. Then later on, more significantly, as we got into the meat of the US session, the Dow took a real hit. Look at it falling through the floor there, and that's when we were looking to buy the tag team. Remember, you do the opposite of what's happening over here, and look at that. They came through here. Look at the guys, both above, both above. You just look immediately to see what you can sell. And we had the pound that was already in trade, but you could have made a little bit there with the pound that was already significantly a sell. The Aussie dollar was very nice, although obviously that's not an active period for the Aussie dollar. And unfortunately, the euro wasn't. The euro was in here, but it wasn't up here. So really, it was a little bit patchy on the trading, and you had to be fast on your feet. Overnights on Tuesday, the Dow started rising rapidly and rose rapidly all through the session till towards the US time. That would have indicated to me that I was really looking to sell my tag team. Unfortunately, as you can see, they didn't want to be sold. These guys didn't go below the zero, and only the yen really went below the zero. So we had a very strong dollar day. So for me, really trading the 1 hours, there were no signals at all. Obviously, on the 5 minutes, there could have been more lower time frames, but there really wasn't any trades there at all for me on Tuesday. Wednesday here, if anything, the Dow stayed pretty solid, and it definitely stayed above the 80, and quite a bit of the time it was above the 20 as well, so I was looking for sales on the tag team. Now, it did oblige on the 20 moving average, which is obviously faster than the 80. They were in quite early on in early London hour sessions, and you would have traded here. The question is, would you be prepared to wait for the US dollar to come down and through? It came here and then touched back up. It was up to you. Sometimes I will get aggressive and go in just trading on the 20 as long as one of these guys is below the line. But again, if you were strictly trading pure rules, you had to wait until this guy went below here. And again, really, most of the trades were gone. The only trade that was still significant was the Swissy that kept going. So again, quite a tough one on Wednesday. Thursday opened with a significant fall on the Dow during the Asian sessions, picked up a little bit and then came through like a train, big falls. So we were looking to buy all day, and as you can see, early hours, the tag team were above the line here on the 20s, came in quite early hours as well, and that was buy, tag, sell currencies all day. So whatever was coming through here, you were selling, and boy oh boy, there were some good ones. The euro came in, the Aussie dollar was there, and then the pound was a significant fall as we headed into the London hours. So big trading day on Thursday, big bucks. Friday, very early hours of trading. Friday London hours saw the tragedy in Japan. What that meant is it sent the yen absolutely ballistic, regardless of what was going on globally in currencies or equities, anything. It sent it absolutely ballistic, which made trading very difficult because we had a massive divergence. Okay, if you did follow the market from there on in, you saw that the Dow started to rally back during the day. And that meant that really I was looking to sell. But as you can see, because the yen was so strong, I really couldn't get anything. I had the US dollar comfortably below the line to sell. But obviously, because of that earlier divergence, I couldn't get a signal, a clear signal. If you're following the strict rules, that means no trade. You could have said that the yen was coming home, and you could have bought some of the currencies here with the dollar so significantly below the line. But that's not the way I trade. I trade very strict rules here. So again, there wasn't much trading that day. I mean, early hours, very early hours through the Asian overnights, because the Dow was falling. You could have bought the guys here selling in this area, but that was early hours, and I don't trade those. I don't trade Asian hours. Okay, that's it for this week. You know where I am. Go to Trade to Win, my thread at Trade to Win. I'm always available there for a chat. Have a good trading week next week, and this is MVP signing off. Cheers.